What's going on, bro?
Not much.
Cool. Good start to episode 10 of Breakroom Nachos podcast. God, you're awful. What have you been up to this week?
Just slaying pussy, you know how I be.
Right? Slaying that hot puss?
No, not actually. I'm super depressed.
Oh, man. Oh.
Double digits.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
We made it.
Oh, man. Crazy.
Hell yeah.
And we'll be in double digits for a very long time.
Yeah, we've been taking off a little bit here the last couple weeks.
We did?
Yeah. I think our last 2 or 3 not the one that came out yesterday. I think the previous 3 are all up over 100.
Oh, sick. I hadn't been paying attention to it.
Yeah, and we really made some ground on Spotify the last couple weeks.
That's cool.
Yeah. Speaking of getting some new listeners, got to give a shout out to Travis, who I know has been listening while he's been driving his UPS truck.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, he said he's been binging the podcast, and my girl Steph, she started listening and said we're hilarious.
Your girl Steph? Who's Steph?
Not
Yeah, because I immediately defaulted to World Market stuff that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
No, not her. Just a friend of mine that.
Okay.
She knows Crystal and Bradley, and she just started listening, and yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to them.
Nice. My boss listened to an episode.
Hell yeah.
He listened to the episode where we debated the boring movie thing, and he said he thinks we're both right. It's just a matter of how you look at it, which is true. I'd agree with him.
That is fair.
It's not really a right or wrong situation, I wouldn't say.
I will say that Crystal talked to me yesterday after listening to episode 9, and she wanted to thank me for sticking up for her decision that you saying because I need a job is a horrible answer.
I stand by it. I still stand by it.
Well, I see what you're saying, that it's not crucial.
It's not right. It's not the right answer.
Right. But at the same time, that's everyone who's interviewing is looking for a job.
Yeah. And if it's an entry level position, then isn't that all that really matters?
It isn't, but
I really couldn't care less about this conversation anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I just wanted to say, that's Crystal backed me up on that one.
Well, Crystal likes banana Laffy Taffy, so do you really think you have good backup here?
All right, forget I said that. Crystal's not a reliable source.
All right. Well, how you doing? How you been?
I'm doing good. Had a busy work day, but yeah, it was slaying it in sales today, so that was pretty dope.
That's pretty cool.
That's dope.
It's pretty epic. It's pretty pog, as the kids say.
Pretty pog?
PogChamp, yeah. Although PogChamp got canceled.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, PogChamp was an emote on Twitch. It was like a guy with a very excited face, and anytime you did something really cool in a video game, you get a PogChamp.
Okay.
So like if you beat a really hard boss, or you did really well in a speed run, or you did really well in a match, people would give you PogChamps in the chat.
Oh.
But the guy whose face was PogChamp had some pretty divisive opinions on Twitter, so they got rid of the emote, so now Poggers is dead.
Oh. So that was kind of the opposite of getting an F in chat?
Pretty much, yeah. No, if you had a bunch of Pogs in your chat, something good was going down.
Oh, hell yeah. I think we should get a Pog for this podcast.
This PogChamp is a little Pog. It's a Pogcast.
I love it. That's awesome. Oh, good one.
Rest in peace, Poggers.
Yeah.
Just replace the Poggers emote with an emote of my hair swaying in the wind.
Oh, nice. Speaking an emote of you, I got a text from our old coworker Jeff yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
He said, I believe, well, let me look at the text. I think he said he was looking under the lockers at World Market.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and him and our old buddy Rue they found a note that you left with a drawing of yourself that says "Don't lose it" on a Post-it note.
I have no idea what that's in reference to.
Well, Jeff, I did my best, but Jeff said he was determined to follow your instructions and not lose it.
Okay, you know what? No. I think I know what that's in reference to. You remember when we worked at World Market, we had box cutters.
Yes.
And when we started there, they were just like normal box cutters. But then a few years later, they changed them so the blade would only go out halfway.
Yeah.
It had that weird like plastic block. When Jake started working at World Market, I think I gave him one of my good box cutters that had the blade that came out all the way.
Yeah.
And he lost it. And I think I gave him another one with that note attached to it.
Nice.
I think that's what it was. That feels familiar. I think he did end up losing it too.
Jeff said that's also good inspiration for life. He said, "Don't lose it, Jeff."
I mean, hold on to that, Jeff, because you know when the Breakroom Nachos blows up, that's going to be a piece of history worth a lot of money.
That's like a Picasso. It's got a drawing of you.
It's got my Jolly Roger drawn with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
That's how I'd always sign myself whenever I left people notes or just. I mean, I did it for notes for you guys all the time too. I just put that instead of my name
for sure. That's gross. You can't do that.
Sorry.
That's all you're gonna say is sorry?
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh well, that's not acceptable. There's one acceptable way you can get out of this.
Get over it, piss baby.
Wow. I just drained my balls in your sink, so enjoy.
I told you not to do that.
Well, that's specifically why I did it.
Well, then why do you feel like you deserve an excuse me for my burp?
Because
you pissed in my damn sink, Mike.
Like I said, I drained my balls in your sink. It's fine. Steph was listening to the podcast yesterday, and she said that was such a weird flex to say that we drained her balls before the podcast.
I didn't today because again I am storing it up still.
Okay, well, store it up. I'm just gonna keep draining away.
Draining away. So it's the new version of Dancing in the Rain. Just draining your balls.
Just draining away. Interesting start to this.
When is it not an interesting start? We never have a normal start to a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I was looking back last night at some of the comments that we've received on our previous YouTube episodes, and this was one of the early episodes, but I guess I just hadn't noticed it until last night. But Microwave had assumed that we were the same age.
Yeah.
And at least that comment came out on an episode that was after the video. And so thank you, Microwave, for assuming that I look like I could be 22 when I am in fact 36. So
yeah,
I'll take that all day.
You know what, Mike? That's pretty pog.
Oh, hell yeah.
See, now you have a new gamer lingo to add to your repertoire, along with can we get an F in the chat?
Right.
Like that was pretty poggers.
Right. Now I got the up and the down.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I
whenever I pop a boner in front of a girl, I say this is pretty poggers.
And then so the inverse of that is like if you're like
facing a little ED.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're fooling around and it's just not doing anything.
You look at it and you go, can I get an F in the chat?
I love it.
That's fucking great.
Oh. And that is perfect to bring me into the next thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So the last episode we had talked about how you looked up butt plugs for Tim on Amazon.
Sure did.
And there
was like trainers where you could get like slowly bigger sizes.
Sure, absolutely. But the same situation, fucking Tim. One day he was talking about those his meds that his meds that he would order online. His Blue Chews.
Blue Chew is an off-brand Viagra for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah. Well, I had heard an advertisement on the radio for some other company. I can't even remember what it was.
That's right. I think one of my favorite podcasts had a Blue Chew sponsored segment, and it was just weird listening to like two guys on a podcast talk about Blue Chew for like 30 seconds.
Huh. Well, we're gonna talk about Blue Chew for at least 30 seconds.
Okay.
Well, anyway, he had me. He was like, "Oh, how much is it? How much is it? Look it up right now." And I'm like, "Tim, you have a phone. You can look this up." But he made me look it up, and then much like you, I kept getting ads everywhere for ED medication from Blue Chew and all sorts of other different companies on my Facebook, website banner ads. It was all ED for weeks after that.
Good old information selling, am I right?
Hell yeah, bro. What are you gonna do?
Like sometimes it's so weird how like that stuff can just pop up everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a toy shop online. It's called Big Bad Toys.
Sex toys?
No.
Okay, we were just talking about butt plugs.
That's fair.
I assumed that's just naturally where it was going.
The name of it isn't going to help. It's called Big Bad Toy Store. But no, they sell like figures and like Gundam model kits. That's mostly what I buy on there. But I needed to pre-order a model, so I went on to that website for the first time in months because I buy most of my models locally.
Okay.
So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the few times I order them online, I usually use Big Bad Toy Store or a couple of other ones, Hobby Japan, whatever. But I just went on there, pre-ordered the model, and like ever since then on Duolingo, I've been getting Big Bad Toy Store advertisements, and it's just like it's so weird.
Yeah.
I never got Big Bad Toy Store advertisements on there before.
It's fine. I mean,
and they'll even like the first off, it'll show like a grid of like things that they sell on the site, and the first one is the thing that I bought. So like they even know specifically what I looked at.
Yeah.
Cookies, man. But I mean, I'd rather see that than, some advertisement for a shitty mobile game.
Yeah.
Because then I could at least look at that like, oh, maybe I would want to pick that up. They have this one really cool model they're selling. It's like Spider-Man, but if he had like an Iron Man style suit, it was kind of cool. I wouldn't buy it because it wasn't a model kit, but
yeah,
I don't really like. I mean, I would say I just don't really buy figures. I prefer the model kits.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of cookies, we're both big fans of the chewy cookies.
Yes. There's always, people, I think popularly people prefer crunchy or hard cookies, and neither one of us are on that side of the fence.
Right. Like I like that, like almost still kind of raw in the middle.
I underbake my cookies
chip
when I make them.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to be slightly doughy still.
Yeah. My only exceptions to that would be Nyackers, those ginger snaps that we would sell at World Market at Christmas time.
Yeah, the ones I have sitting on top of my microwave.
Yep. I did not notice that.
Yep. I also have a box of Tim Tams, so I went to World Market at some point.
Right. And Tate's.
Yeah, Tate's.
Those two cookies are great, even though they're very, very crispy, crunchy cookies.
True that. Well, I mean, they're ginger snaps,
yeah.
Soft ginger doesn't taste that great. Like this, it's definitely like the snap is a part of it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of like the soft ginger cookies, but what was the thing about Tate's? They were run by the Illuminati or some shit. What was that?
Something like that. I don't know. Because didn't someone come in and like?
Yeah, it was years ago. Someone came in and wanted to talk to the gourmet head, who I think at the time was Allison. It was pretty early when I worked there.
Okay.
And like refused to leave until he could talk to her, or maybe he wanted to talk to Marco because Marco was the only manager, and Marco didn't want to go talk to him. So instead of just being an adult and a proper store manager, he avoided it. But whatever this person like refused to leave the store so he could talk to him so he could explain how Tate's is run by the Illuminati or some shit. I don't remember what the theory was. It was a good conspiracy theory though.
Yeah. I don't know. Classic.
People be crazy. Remember that time that guy masturbated in the store?
Yes. Oh my God. That brings Crystal.
Shout out to Crystal.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, Crystal always got stuck with the weirdest shit.
True that. That was the funniest day. Cause I just remember I was in the I was in the break room at the time.
To be clear, you were also jerking off, but you were at least
I was
on
in
break.
the break room. Yeah, I wasn't on the clock. It's fine. But I was in the break room and like Marco came like charging back into the stock room. And he was like, some guy's jerking off. And then he like walked off and I was like, what? And he goes, some guy's jerking off. And he goes in the office. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? You can't just lead with that and then leave.
Right. Oh, there's got to be more explanation than that. Oh
my God. Poor Crystal.
God.
What was it a customer who like brought it to her attention?
Yeah, I think a customer brought it to her attention. And then I think maybe like she walked over there and I remember she like after the whole situation resolved itself, she like got a bath towel because it happened in like the bath towel section.
Yeah.
And it was just like some weird like bleach dyed bath towel. But she was like, look at that. Is that, is that, do you think that's, you know? And I was like, no, Crystal, it's fine.
Listen, Crystal, I know a thing or two about cum stains.
Absolutely. That is 100% not a cum stain.
This podcast is gross.
Yeah.
Talk about gross things, cannibals and dicks and cum stains.
Yeah. Jerking off next to orphans.
No, we didn't talk about that. Nope. We intentionally avoided talking about that.
Yeah. And we definitely didn't just bring it up again.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
This is a clean, family-friendly podcast. God damn it.
Absolutely.
Advertiser friendly.
I see Luna's back. You must have had enough money to repurchase her.
Yeah, well, the stimulus check came through.
Oh, got that stimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Oh, I saw a really good meme that was like, oh, my $1,400 stimulus check just came in. Walked into McDonald's, tried to order an Oreo McFlurry. Employee says, sorry, the soft serve machine is down. I just got my stimmy. How much to fix it?
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a burpy bitch today. I did make a
damn.
burger before for lunch.
Yeah,
so it's not shocking.
How was your burger?
It was pretty good. It was a bit dry. I overcooked it a bit, but it was fine otherwise.
Yeah. Overcooked burgers are kind of gross sometimes, but
yeah, well, you can overcook it a bit before it turns dry.
Yeah,
but you got to watch out for that. It was definitely like there wasn't a lot of pink in the middle, and I like that pink.
I like that good deep pink.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Okay.
Got some questions for us?
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah.
I have a quick one from Scorpion, and like I was looking at this and I was like, this is gonna be a quick one to answer, but I want to bring it up anyway.
All right.
To Mike, was it difficult to make friends with Mack due to the difference in age or interest?
Actually, surprisingly, no.
No, not at all.
I don't know specifically what we started becoming friends over, but
well, I mean, we were coworkers before we were friends, so yeah, you get bored of World Market, you start talking, and
yeah,
and then like we're both like I don't know, we're both like nice people. Like neither one of us was like, this guy's too fucking old, I'm not going to talk to him,
right? Or like, I'm not going to talk to this Zoomer.
Right. So I don't know. Mike and I's friendship is not founded on our similar interests or whatever. We're just two good bros.
Yeah, because if that was the case, we probably wouldn't talk to each other.
No, because we don't have a lot of common ground in that area.
But I suppose, I don't know if this is when we became friends, but I do remember there was that one night when we had to do that overnight to move all that shit from the back room over into that secondary room.
That probably was the night we got to be like closer friends.
Like the two of us just spent 8 hours in the store together alone at night. And I mean, we were the only source of entertainment, having to work together moving heavy shit all night. So
yeah. Well, that night was on a surface level kind of hell, because so we were having this big stockroom renovation, which means we needed to move a ton of stuff out of our stockroom and into a secondary storage room, which was in a different part of the building, kind of closer to like the cottage inside of the building.
Yeah.
And we didn't have like a good method to move a lot of the stuff. Like for furniture, we had dollies, but then we had all these freestanding grids that
I know exactly where you're going with this. This is great.
We had all these freestanding grids that you'd have to like whenever we needed them to build stuff, we would just push them along the floor. But this wasn't like a small number of them. This was like a lot of them.
Absolutely.
So we had to get pretty creative with how to deal with them. And what we ended up doing was taking groups of like 4 or 5 of them, zip tying them together.
Yep.
And then we found these like old furniture carts that we never used for moving furniture.
Nope.
It was like a skateboard without the board. If you had like 4 wheels with just like wooden boards across them.
Yeah.
And we would just sit them on top of there. And that was definitely a 2-person job. You couldn't move those by yourself. So
right.
we had to help each other with moving those. But that also sucked because sometimes the zip ties got stuck.
Yep.
Or didn't get stuck. They would allow them to slide. And so one time I had my hands like gripping the grid, and 2 of them slid, and it crushed my little fingy, and it hurt a lot.
Do you remember what I said to you?
I do remember what you said.
I believe I said, "Did you hurt your robot sex finger?"
Which is a whole nother story.
It is.
God, we've been bringing up Marco a lot lately.
We have.
Marco, or the old fucker who used to work with us. There was this one time I was hanging out with a friend. I don't remember what led to this, but we were just bored and we were like hanging out at her place, and she brought up Netflix, is like browsing through random stuff to watch, and Netflix had a documentary on there at the time. I don't know if it's still on there. It was just a weird documentary about people who have like fetishes for sex robots. So I came to work the next day and I was like, I watched this weird documentary about people who are into sex robots, and Marco turned that into a very obnoxious running joke that I was into sex robots.
Yes.
And would bring it up at every living opportunity, including to new hires who hadn't met me yet.
Yeah.
And would pass it off as if it was a true thing, which was super cool of him to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if he said it once, it's like, oh, haha, that's funny.
Even if he, like, said it once or, like, brought it up every now and then as an inside joke, it wouldn't have bothered me. What bothered me is that he would tell people who didn't know me that I had a sex robot fetish.
Right.
God, that's so fucking annoying.
Oh.
And it wasn't even like what the joke was. The joke was that I had watched a documentary about people who have sex robot fetishes. No part of that had anything to do with me.
No. And to give you guys a little more insight into Marco, one day I was forced to spend all day with him hanging rugs on the rug wall.
Oh God, I know this time.
Yeah, basically there were these big arms, and we had to put these giant like 6 foot by 9 foot rugs on them, and some of those bitches were heavy.
Yeah, so let me just as I put in a little note for people going to retail stores real quick. If you are at a store buying a rug and they have their rugs hung vertically like that, and say there's one you want but it's out of stock, but they can order another one, take the fucking order. Don't you dare try to make them take it down.
Yeah.
Hanging those rugs sucks so much. It was like my least favorite part of the job in its entirety. Like, even dealing with customers was not as bad as hanging in those damn rugs.
Yep.
Because especially the 6x9 jute rugs weighed like 200 pounds. And they had these horrible rug fibers that were constantly like breaking off and falling onto you as you hung them. And you needed like 3 people to get it up. It's like, don't fucking ask to take it down. You don't need that one in particular.
Yep.
Order that motherfucker. You can wait a week.
Absolutely.
But continue where you were going.
Oh, so that day, I don't even know how it got brought up. Somehow we decided he wanted to give me a nickname, and he thought that calling me Mike Bike was like the fucking funniest thing anyone had ever come up with. And that it was so original, which I guess I'll give him that.
It was definitely original.
It was original, but because it was so stupid, nobody else would ever think to call anybody that.
You're not even like a biker.
No, I'm not a biker. I don't ride bicycles. None of that.
Has anyone ever called you Mike Bike?
That's like a really good nickname. It's like really, really good. God.
I mean, it did stick though.
Well, with him, yeah. Mostly with him, but
I mean, it ended up on your name tag.
Because of him,
you got a hook on the door in the office.
I did, which I took when I left.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, on my last day, I unscrewed it and took it.
Jess still calls you Bike.
Yeah, she exclusively calls me Bike.
So it became a part of your lore.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Mike! Bike!
Was that a Dragon Ball reference?
That, yeah, he apparently, he, when I would come in, he would scream that at me from across the store, and some sort of.
The only joke of it is that in Dragon Ball they like scream when they power up, so that was like you're powering up.
What do they call that?
It's going Super Saiyan.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, he would call me Super Saiyan Bike.
Marco was really into Dragon Ball. Like he didn't really get into anime beyond that, but he was really into Dragon Ball. He would talk about it a lot with me just because I knew about Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
like I was one of the few people that did.
Yeah.
I don't even like Dragon Ball that much, but I knew of it.
Speaking of mics with nicknames,
mics with nicknames.
Yeah.
Okay, you did mean to say that. That sounded very strange to me.
No. That's fully what I meant to say. There is actually Crystal's roommate, who I'm now friends with. I've never actually met him in person, but his name is Mike, and his last name is Del Prado.
Well, you just doxed him.
Whatever. It's fine. I don't care. But he goes by DP Del Prado. But
right.
Does that make you think of anything?
It triggered something in me, but I can't think of what it's making me think of.
I mean, typically people instantly think of double penetration.
There it is.
That's the one.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't go by DP.
I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just gotta take the nickname.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't always have a choice.
Yeah, so what's the context of doxing?
Doxing?
Yeah.
Well, it's when you give away someone's personal information on the internet so people can find them.
Yeah, but what does dox mean? Or is it like short for something?
That I actually don't know.
Okay.
I just heard it being said for years. I'm sure it does mean something, but it's probably one of those like terms that's become more. It might not even mean what we use it as these days. It might just be one of those terms that's become it's been given a new meaning by its usage.
Gotcha.
As far as I know, because it's a very like internet thing to have happen.
Right.
Like you really wouldn't dox someone back in the 50s, but you give someone's address on the internet, you just dox them.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. We got more in that question sack.
Okay. Yep. Did you hear my double take just there?
Yep. Sure did.
Oh, Scorpion is curious. Or if we have any tips for being an adult. Scorpion, for context, like just turned 18 and is a bit nervous about the world.
Oh, huh. Is Scorpion male or female?
It's a dude.
Okay, I mean, just asking because there's female scorpions.
I don't know what the joke is here.
That wasn't a joke.
I felt like you were setting up a joke. I couldn't figure it out.
No. But I mean, I guess advice could be given differently depending on if it's a dude or a chick.
How so?
I mean,
if you're talking sex life stuff, then yes, certainly. But
potentially.
But I don't think that's what the question that's being asked is at all.
All right. Okay, advice for being an adult.
I don't know. I know, Scorpion, from our conversations on stream that you're planning to move out soon, and I know you're a bit nervous about that, and you definitely you want to do it, but you are a bit nervous. I would say like if you're not feeling like ready for it, just don't do it. Like there's a big rush and stigma around living with your parents for very long, but like there's really nothing wrong with it, especially like you can save some mad cash if you stay with your parents for a little while longer, even if it can be a bit frustrating. Like it is nice living by yourself and all the perks that come with it, but it's also a lot more responsibility. You have to keep up with your bills, keep up with utilities, keep up with, and the longer you're away from your parents, at least in my experience, the less willing they are to pay for things for you. My parents used to cover my car insurance. They stopped doing that after I moved out.
Yeah.
My parents used to cover my phone. They don't anymore.
Yeah, definitely make sure you've got the finances to cover moving out.
I'd say that's the big thing. You got to be like certain you can afford whatever it is you're going into. When I moved out, I did the calculations to like find out like, okay, this is how much money I make if I work this amount of hours every week, and this is the amount of money that I get. This is the amount I'll spend maximum on groceries. And like this is the best way to do it too, in my opinion. You have to account for like your most expensive theoretical month. Like so, you know, go to like the upper limit of what you might spend on your water bill. Go to the upper limit of what you might spend on your heat bill. Go to the upper limit of what you might spend on food, and then find like how much money you have left for like rent. And that is the maximum amount that you're allowed to like use towards rent, because you never know if you're going to have one of those super expensive months that ends up costing a ton.
Right.
And you don't want to be caught with your pants down in that situation.
Right. Some situations, yes, you want to be caught with your pants down.
That is not one of them.
That is not at all one of them.
So that would be my advice. Like if you want to move out, like that's good, but don't force yourself to. And if you are going to, be certain that you can afford whatever it is you're choosing to do.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I don't know if you're planning on living by yourself or having a roommate, but I mean, living with someone else who's an adult
is hard.
Yeah.
Do not be a roommate with any of your friends. It's too risky.
You can very easily end a friendship quickly. Although, knock on wood, I actually had very good experiences with all of my roommates.
I only had the one, and she made me not want to ever have a roommate again.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that.
She was a nightmare, but I don't want to get into on the podcast.
I actually just thought about her yesterday in the shower.
That's not something you should say.
Well, now let me explain. I was in the shower.
Were you thinking about how she would walk around with just her underwear on while my friends were around?
Actually, that's not what I was thinking.
I don't know if I told you that she did that.
Oh yeah, you did. And she would like just like come in and like lay on your bed.
Yeah, that so weird, so uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I thought about the situation you had where she got pissed because you wouldn't close the shower curtain.
Oh my God.
Because it was going to get moldy.
Oh my fucking God. I mean, that's I so don't want to get into this on the podcast, but now I have to at least explain that part. She was like a super neat freak. Like, Mike, you've been in my apartment a good amount. Would you say like I keep my place really clean?
You do. Very, very clean, cleaner than I would. Not that I would anticipate you to be unclean, but just knowing like you're
young guys,
a young bachelor dude living on his own, I wouldn't expect your place to be as clean as it is.
Right. So, and that's the comment I've gotten a lot. And first, like, I guess I can see the perspective of it, but people are always like, they always tell me, like, they feel the need to tell me they are surprised by how clean my place is, which, first of all, I don't know why people expect my place to be dirty. I guess it's just because I'm a dude in a gamer or something like that. But I'm very cleanly. I keep my place clean. She thought I was a slob. She was like a super neat freak. She would ask me to do all these cleaning tasks that I thought were absurd. There was one time that I had to like take fucking alcohol wipes and wipe down like the baseboards along the walls around around the entire living room, which like I can see that kind of thing needing to be done, but only when they've gotten dirty, not as like a preventative measure.
Oh God, no, you don't need a deep clean like that, especially not in an apartment.
Right. So she would deep clean everything.
No,
like she like steam cleaned the bath every week and then like got mad that I didn't clean the bath. And it's like, yeah, you cleaned it before it ever got dirty. It didn't even get close to dirty.
She probably steam cleaned your vagina.
You didn't need to say that.
Well, that leads to another story.
It does?
Yeah. Remember when we were talking with our boss about what's her name? That actress.
I have no idea where this is going. I don't think I was part of this conversation.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
What about her?
Apparently she steam cleans her vagina.
Okay, well, that doesn't shock me considering her goop business.
Yeah, well, we were joking around with our boss. I swear I thought you were involved in this about how we should start a business.
Oh my God. I do remember this.
Where we just get a shitty old van. And we put a trash can with steaming hot water in the back. And just women would pay to squat over it. Get a good steam clean.
I forgot about this. We fucking drew the truck and like how it worked. We drew like a fucking... we drew out like the specifics of how the shit would work and tried to come up with like a name and a fucking logo and a slogan.
Mac,
This was our boss. He ran the entire store.
Yeah. This was all on the sales floor as well.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. That's fucking hilarious.
Mac, the best part, I have the drawing. I saved the drawing. Once this episode comes out, I'll throw a picture of it up on.
Dude, just send it to me. We'll make it the podcast thumbnail.
I love it. Perfect.
Assuming it's not like YouTube inappropriate. I don't remember it that well, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like stick figure drawings.
Yeah.
So. I forgot about that. It's so fucking funny. Oh my God. Oh.
Man, this episode is taking a weird turn, but I love it.
Oh my God. I completely forgot about that, but that's so fucking funny. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because we said we were gonna get a van, and him and I were gonna start our own furniture moving business, because we couldn't be worse than that one
selective. I won't say the name of it, but yeah, the guys we talked about last episode.
Yeah. The really bad company. So we figured we were just gonna get a shitty, beat up, rusty old van.
Probably just buy it from them.
Yeah. But then we figured on the side we could double it as a vagina steam cleaning business.
God, that shit's so funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, love you, Tom. I miss Tom.
I do too.
Gotta go visit World Market. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, for sure. We should roll up in there together one day.
Yeah. But anyway, back to my story.
Yeah.
She was just like a super neat freak, cleaned. She like, I would say like my cleaning, I do clean a lot of stuff like just regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I vacuum every week and I, regularly clean my bathroom, but it's, I wouldn't say I'm a preventative cleaner, like I don't clean things before they become dirty. I clean them I'll look at it and be like, that's dirty. I should clean that.
Right.
So I clean things when they become dirty. I don't clean them before they're dirty. She would always clean things like everything was on a schedule and everything would get cleaned before it even like got close to dirty.
Hell no.
So she called me a slob and said I was like bad at cleaning because I didn't clean things. And it's like, there's nothing for me to clean. You clean everything for me.
Right.
And I'd point out did you see I vacuumed my room? I dusted everything in my room because you don't touch my room.
Well, she shouldn't even care what your room looks like.
Right. But she wasn't like talking about that. But like that was my defense of like, I'm not a slob. My room is clean. Because I clean that. You don't clean that.
That's fair.
My point was that she cleaned too often for me to need to clean. And when we had moved in, we'd agreed that we wouldn't clean on a schedule and I would just make sure it stayed clean. So the fact that she was getting mad at me for not cleaning on a schedule was like, this is what you agreed to. So anyway, I had for years living at home, whenever I got out of the shower, I would just leave the shower open. I didn't even think about it. That's always how I did it.
Yeah.
And like not long after I moved in with her, she would start getting really mad at me and would send me pictures of the shower while I was at work.
Oh my God.
Of like the open shower curtain.
That's ridiculous.
And lecture me about how, if you leave the shower curtain open, it'll build up mildew and it won't last as long. And it's like, first of all, shower liners cost $10.
Yeah. They're really not
really
expensive.
that big of a deal if it lasts 2 months less than it should otherwise? Like this is like, working in retail and having a roommate, both things you need to learn is that you have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
There are so many more things to worry about than like the small things that annoy you. You can just you just got to get over those. Because if you start reacting over every little thing that bothers you, it all just becomes noise.
Yeah.
And so, I did with the shower curtain thing start to be like, okay, I have to remember to close it just so she wouldn't bother me about it. And so that, whatever, her shower curtain wouldn't get ruined or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had been leaving the shower open my entire life. it takes 30 days to form a habit. Yet I would leave the shower curtain open one more time and she would get mad at me. And it's like, dude, I don't have a perfect memory. You can't expect me to remember this thing that I haven't been doing my entire life. Out of fucking nowhere. I was making an honest effort to do it. She just didn't like that I didn't immediately magically bend to her will. There's so much more to say about her, but she was just an awful roommate and she made me never want to have a roommate again. That's why I live with Luna now, who throws up under my bed.
Which is actually better than your old roommate.
Yes, she is.
Surprisingly, a roommate that throws up under your bed is better than the last one you had.
Ugh. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many things I could say about her, but it's just so not worth getting into.
Yeah, let's not go there.
No. It's not like I was a perfect roommate, obviously, but I tried. She was just awful through and through. And fuck it. Let's move on from the subject. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's making me mad.
Yeah.
I got more questions. Shupwoop, you sent in a fantastic question. I just have to say right now, people, I want more questions like this where we can really discuss and theorize.
Okay.
This is a great fucking question.
Yeah, I love it. Let's hear it.
How many kids could you take in a fight unarmed, aged 8 to 13?
Well, first of all, that's a big range.
That is a big range. That's the thing. I thought about this a bit when I first came in. I think I could potentially fight off a lot of them, but aged 8 to 13 is pretty much that perfect range where they're going to be at nut punching range, and they definitely haven't developed the honor ethics of a man to not nut punch.
Right.
So that's a thing you really have to watch out for. There might be a lot of them that are going to go for the nuts.
Right. Well, and I mean, a 13-year-old is way different from an 8-year-old.
Definitely.
13-year-olds are starting to hit puberty. They got those little weird mustaches. They got weird puberty strength.
True that. I don't know. Well, I guess it depends on the situation, certainly.
Now, are we all unarmed or just me? Are the children armed?
I can't really ask questions. Let's assume that both you and the children are unarmed.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question, do we think it is a constant one-on-one? Are they going to attack you one at a time, or are they going to gang up?
I'm assuming they're going to gang up on us.
If it's ganging up, I don't think I could hold out for long. Kids can fucking climb on you. They can wrap their little arms around your limbs and stick you in place.
I mean, are we talking fight to the death here?
It just says how many could you fight off. So I'm assuming they're trying to fight you off. How many could you take in a fight? So I'm assuming that's knocking them out, which means they're also trying to knock you out.
Okay. I mean, I think I might have a tough time with 2 13-year-olds, because I feel 13-year-olds are pretty. That's what, a high school freshman, maybe?
A little before, but yeah, basically.
Pretty close.
Yeah, no, those 13-year-olds would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
The 8-year-olds I could definitely just kick in the face and call it a day, but the 13-year-olds might dodge it. They got some frontal cortex thinking going on.
I mean, I'm putting the over-under on 3.5 8-year-olds.
3.5 8-year-olds, I could see it. I guess, okay, if it's all in a group, I'd probably put it around that same range.
Yeah.
If we're talking one-on-one, I feel I could probably take them on forever. An endless number.
Yeah.
13-year-olds maybe would be tougher, but I still think I could probably take them forever. Well, God, that nut punching range.
Yeah. I feel
that's a real problem.
I feel like the 8-year-old is more willing to punch you in the nuts.
True that, but the 13-year-old is more able to.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think any of them have gained the morals of being a dude where it's nope, that's not cool.
No, not at all.
Here's another question. So we know we're going into it unarmed, but dependent on the environment, could one become armed?
Oh, so for example, you just grab a stick or a tree branch and poke an 8-year-old's eye out.
Well, sure, that's the outdoor environment, but I was thinking if you strolled up in a 4th grade classroom. And you could start grabbing desks, you could start grabbing chairs, throw their teacher at them. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
You'd have a lot of options in a classroom. Staplers.
Right.
So just start stapling some 8-year-olds together. Oh. You turn them into some horrible monster that ends up being worse for you. As soon as you staple them, they gain a hive mind.
Oh, God. They form together?
Yeah. You turn a bunch of smaller enemies into a boss fight.
Oh, damn.
Accidentally, you didn't realize it would have this effect.
Oh, shit.
And that would be a problem.
Throw a globe at a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was in a classroom, even against a crowd, I feel like I'd have pretty good odds. You know?
Yeah.
Assuming they didn't have the strength or mental capacity to grab a weapon themselves, which does seem unlikely. But if I was able to just like grab the teacher's desk and swing it across them,
Right.
I could knock those fuckers out.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in school, like, you'd have a teacher that would have just like a long, like pointing stick to use, to, like point to things on like the chalkboard or on like
I do feel like that would be kind
screen.
of. Do feel like that would be a bit fragile. Like if it got bent at all, I'd probably just.
I mean, but you whip a kid in the neck with that? I mean, I think they're going down.
Yeah, but what I am saying is, how many can you take out before it just breaks? I mean, I guess that's the reality of fighting off 8th graders.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
I love this.
This is a great question. I want to talk about some more environments. Like, what if they were breaking into my house? I have a sword in my bedroom. Like, if I could go and grab it, like if I start off unarmed, but I'm able to like go and grab shit, like I just grab my sword and start cutting those fuckers down. I have no qualms about killing an 8-year-old. None.
No, I mean, if this is
this is a life or death situation.
Oh, hell yeah, that 8-year-old's going down.
Totally.
I'm gonna slice up an 8-year-old.
100%. Of course, that would have the problem. My if I ran into my own bedroom, I would end up bottlenecking myself because there's only one small door leading in. But that would also give me the advantage of if I managed to stop them at the door, they'd only be able to attack me like 2 or 3 at a time.
Right.
Damn, there's so many angles to this.
And if they all come running at you through that one doorway, you can run that sword through like 3 of them at a time.
Damn, you're right. Hell, I could just stack up the bodies till it creates a blockade.
Protect yourself with dead children.
It would work. You know, bodies are heavy. A bunch of 8th graders aren't gonna start working together to like bring down the bodies. They're just gonna push against it. And,
right.
You know, it would slow them down enough that only 1 or 2 could get through at a time. And again, you just skewer them and the pile grows.
Yeah. I love it.
That would be a poggers moment.
Hell yeah.
Skewering a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Oh, you get a pog in chat for that.
Pog champ, baby.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
And what if you were like in a kitchen, like maybe teaching a cooking class and they start to rebel?
Right.
You know, you got knives at your advantage.
Right. They could come in while we were filming
an episode.
An episode of
start tossing boiling hot dog water at them.
Right. Or if it was in our glass, it would just be iced hot dog water, but
the icicles would hurt.
It would distract him at least.
And the hot dog water would give them a debuff because it tastes so gross.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like fully unarmed though. Like let's say you're in a boxing ring and they're coming at you from all sides.
If they're all coming at me at once, I'm still thinking around like 4 8-year-olds.
I'm thinking altogether, like with the range of 8 to 13, I could probably take down a total of 3. You know, like
mixed ages.
Mixed ages is probably a total of 3 in fisticuffs before they would overwhelm me.
So give me like an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 13-year-old all coming at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kick the 8-year-old, give the 10-year-old a couple good punches, 13-year-old maybe choke them out, but after that, like they're on you.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on their spawn rates too. How many of them are we dealing with at a time? Is it like 5 per second? Is it like 1 per minute?
I feel like I'd go at the 13-year-old first.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fair. He's less of a danger. Or sorry, he's more of a danger.
He's more of a danger. Yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like you could just like, you know, stick your hand in the face of an 8-year-old and keep him at bay for a little bit.
That's true. They got little arms. Not a lot they can do about it.
Right. Oh, I like this idea. We should at least test this out in like a like some sort of boxing ring.
Totally.
If any of our listeners have any children that they're willing to offer up to let us,
we cannot promise they'll live.
No,
we cannot promise that.
No.
But if you're looking for a good way out, if you're tired of having the kid, you know, just run the risk.
If he dies, he dies.
We'll give $100 to any kids that lives. All right, that's your incentive. $100 is a ton to a child.
Hell yeah.
So you know, any kid that lives, you get $100. That's enough incentive to get them in the ring. We'll take care of the rest. We'll kill your child. That's a service we'll provide. All in the name of science. We got to know the answer to this question.
Child busters.
No, I'm not going to say that. That's no good. Can't say that one.
Nope. We all know where we're going, but just use your imagination.
Think of it in your head. I'm not saying and not getting canceled on Twitter for this shit.
Yeah.
God, beating up kids is hilarious. I love how like kids getting hurt never stops being funny.
Right?
It is hilarious. Like I absolutely adore videos of children falling over.
Yep.
It never stops being funny. It's hilarious.
Like you'll see the ones where like a toddler is like clearly like just barely learning how to walk, and like a cat will just like swat it and knock it over.
I love that shit.
That, or like a dog just comes running up and just takes its legs out from underneath him.
I saw a great video the other day of like it was a boy and a girl. The girl like did a cartwheel, and the boy looked at her and like clearly was like, I can do that. Okay. And then just like, because with a cartwheel, you got to like put your hand forward, do like a flip, stand back up on your feet.
Yeah, for sure.
Motherfucker just straight face planted. He didn't even get his hand on the ground.
Damn.
He went stiff as a board and just slammed into the ground. Like, I don't know what his game plan was. It didn't work.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious.
Oh man.
There's also, I don't remember if I ever sent this to you or anything. There's a great fucking video of a kid at his birthday party, and it's like Mario themed.
Okay.
And he's clearly a big fan of Mario. He like touches like an invincibility star on the wall and like starts singing like the invincibility star song and like running around super fast. And he runs around like the kitchen island and then like down in the hall, runs back, and then he runs down in the hall again and like just beats the shit out of a door archway. And this sound it makes is so fucking good. It's like such a solid thud.
Oh.
And the video cuts right there, but you know that motherfucker cried.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's one of my favorite videos. It's so funny because the sound is just so good. It's just a solid just like such a solid hit.
Did I ever show you the video? I was tossing a tennis ball to Lily, and she does not understand the concept of catching anything.
I don't think you sent me this.
It just clocks her square in the face and makes this loud thud and bounces off to the side. She turns her head and looks at it, and then just looks straight back at me like, okay, now what?
That dog.
Yeah. Thump.
That dumb dog.
That dog.
Mm.
Oh, man. What a goof.
Dogs do be out here goofing, straight up.
Yeah. Has Luna been throwing up recently?
No, she's been good. I really thought after last episode she was going to like hawk up a hairball, but she never finished the job, so I guess we're good. Unless it's under my bed. I haven't checked, but
maybe. I thought Lily was going to throw up the other morning. She got up and she started making her throw up noise, like, I know when it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like picked her up and I threw her into the bathroom real quick. And she just like dry heaved for a few seconds and then stopped, and I guess she was fine. Nothing ever came up. So
good for her.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, but I did manage to get her into the bathroom first.
That is a pretty pog moment right there.
Hell yeah.
I'm just trying to bring this up any chance I get.
Just pog.
Just very pog.
You remember pogs? Well, I know you don't remember them originally.
Pogs.
Yeah. Oh God, I feel so fucking old. God, anyone my age listening to this is gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. There are these little cardboard discs with pictures on them,
mm-hmm.
and you'd have them all facing the same direction. I think it was upside down. It really didn't matter. You had to get them to flip over, but you had a thing called a slammer, which was like a giant coin shaped disc.
Okay.
They were usually metal, and you'd literally like slam it down at this giant stack of pogs, and you would take turns, you and other people, and then like whoever flipped the most of them over won and got to keep the ones that they flipped over.
I see.
And these were like banned from elementary schools because, kids were like crying because they lost their pogs, and it was Yeah, it was just a whole mess. But Pogs were like a huge thing. This would have been definitely before you were born. I want to say circa like 95.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But-
that doesn't sound familiar at all.
But I figured maybe somewhere through nostalgia, through the interwebs, you may have heard about these.
no, I don't think so. Did you ever have lawn darts?
Oh hell yeah! I had the good metal tipped ones.
Yeah, my grandparents did too.
Hell yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, they're literally like these darts. I think what would you do? Would you put like little discs in the ground and you'd have to try to like get them in that specific area, or were you supposed to throw them as far as possible?
No, it was like it was a little bit like horseshoes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so you'd have like a circle, kind of like a hula hoop.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And I think there was a brand name. I think they were called like Jarts, like javelin darts.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and you'd give them a toss and try and get it in that circle as you're like opposing people like you would when you're playing horseshoes or cornhole or anything like that.
Yep. And people got stabbed.
Yep.
Couldn't make them out of metal anymore. People got stabbed.
I did see that there is a company that even though that they're like outlawed to sell with metal tips, you can buy them. They have like a safe version of it where it's like a magnetic weight or something in it. But what fun is that?
Right.
So there's a nostalgic company that makes them, but they can't sell them as is. So you have to purchase the Jart set and then the metal tip separately.
That makes sense. And you can like swap them out, or you can just screw them into them.
Yeah, like you can assemble them as evil stabbing tools yourself. They just can't sell them that way.
Yeah. No, my grandparents had an OG set.
Hell yeah.
I imagine they still do.
Yeah.
That's those things are pretty rad.
Yeah, I remember
they were dangerous as fuck for sure, but like that's the fun of it.
Yeah, I remember one time because I had a set, I like took a piece of paper and drew an airplane on the side of it. Or drew an airplane on the piece of paper and then taped that to the lawn dart.
Gotcha.
And then overhand would just throw it as far as I could. So it would look like an airplane flying.
Nice.
Super dangerous.
Definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of probably the most major injury I ever received.
Major injury?
Probably mostly like my worst as a child, but probably just my worst in general.
Uh-huh.
When I was a kid, living in New Hampshire, I had these little metal airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
They were like fighter jets.
Okay.
I love these things. They were they were definitely older toys. They weren't from like my own childhood. They were someone else's toys that I got, I think.
Yeah.
Because like they definitely weren't safe. One of them had like a very pointy tip.
Like a classic like garage sale pickup.
Yeah. They were like, they were the same kind of metal as like Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels.
Nice.
But like it also had like an extremely pointed tip for like the nose of the airplane.
Just like your penis.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans to see my extremely pointed tip. But anyway, we also had a trampoline in
oh no
in my house in New Hampshire. And so one day, I guess I thought it was a great idea to like go on the trampoline with the airplanes. And I think I just like set them on the airplane and like jumped on the trampoline to like make them bounce.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of them fell down from the air into my skull.
Oh God.
It cracked my skull. I don't remember that moment very well, but I have a very vivid memory of like being in my childhood home's bathroom, my mom freaking out, and there just being blood on the floor.
Oh, how big were these airplanes? Just curious.
About this, it's hard to remember because I don't have them anymore, but I'd say they were about this large. So we're talking like a pretty, and metal again. So we're talking pretty hefty, probably like half a pound.
So for those of you who aren't in the room, Mack was holding his fingers maybe
4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, so
with a pointed tip. So
and made of metal. So we're talking like half a pound probably.
Yeah,
I would guess, and just directly into my skull. So I had to go to the ER, had surgery, I cracked my skull.
You had surgery?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Dude, you can't just crack your skull and go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that you literally meant you like cracked your skull.
Yeah, my skull bone broke.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I never would have guessed that sledding off the roof wasn't your worst childhood injury.
That wasn't even really an injury. That was just a metal burn.
Yeah.
You know, that was more of an uncomfortability than anything. But no, that one was bad, dude.
Damn. Do you have a scar under that hair or somewhere?
I don't remember. I think I might.
I would imagine you do.
I think I might. I definitely I remember like, you know, that classic look that you see on like hospital shows or whatever, where like it's like the white bandage on the head with like the gauze shit. I had that look for a minute.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I had the same look.
Oh, right.
So I have a November birthday, so it's, you know, near the end of the year. So I was always young for whatever grade I was in.
Mm-hmm.
So I graduated high school when I was 17.
I also did.
And I didn't turn 18 until November of my freshman year at college.
Yep.
So like everyone else, they're 18, they're legally an adult. I'm technically still a child.
Right.
So Mac, you know, I have a scar on the back of my head.
Yep.
Which was from a car accident that I was in.
I love this story.
I was not driving.
Nope.
But I was in the back seat. I actually just told the story. My boss asked me about it today. About an hour before I came over here. So it's really weird that this got brought up again. But it was a fairly bad accident. It was the car we were in rolled over. Car ended up upside down. I unbuckled myself. And of course immediately fell because of gravity.
That's how it be.
At some point, the back of my head was cut by something. I'm assuming the window, which got busted out. I crawled out of the vehicle. And I'll date this story a little bit because of the video game that we had been playing at the time.
This is a very crucial part of the story.
We were, my roommates and the other guys on the floor and I, we were all obsessed with Grand Theft Auto 3 and played it constantly. And if you've ever played that game, you know, if you flip a car over, you need to get out and run away from it because the car is going to explode.
Yep.
So my first instinct was not check on my other two friends to make sure they're okay. It was run as far away from the car as possible.
Fuck all those friends. I gotta live.
So I did. They were okay. I was the only one who actually even had a semi-serious injury. It was a pretty decent sized cut on the back of my head.
Yeah. I mean, you got a mean scar from it.
Yeah. But because I was only 17, when I rode in the ambulance, they took me to the pediatric ER.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, because I wasn't an adult. They wouldn't, and I didn't have any like parents there or anything. They just took me to pediatrics. So I'm in this room and they've got me like on one of those like immobilization board things.
Okay.
I'm like strapped down to this board. I can't move my head. I can't move my arms. I can't move my legs. So I'm like staring at the ceiling, and the ceiling tiles have like fish on them, and it's painted like aqua blue in this room.
Okay.
And they have me propped up a little bit. But again, I can't move. And my head is all wrapped up in bandages, like the gauze bandages. And by this point, like my sweatshirt and pants are pretty much soaked in blood as well. And they didn't close the door to the room that I was in.
Okay.
And so there's like 5 and 6-year-olds walking by the room that just look in and see me all bandaged and blood everywhere
and restrained,
just terrified to death.
Oh, I bet. Damn, dude, that would create some memories.
Yeah. In the end, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Some stitches and some staples, and I was good to go. But I was bandaged up for a couple days.
You never told me that part of the story, but I love that story because the idea that because of GTA 3, you just abandon your friend in a car that's about to explode is hilarious to me.
Yep. Yeah. And the other thing about the ER, so, you know, they gave me an IV with fluids. And I was at some point once they were like done, but I was still waiting to be discharged. I was like, man, I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom. So
No, don't tell me this part of the story. You know how much I hate needles.
oh no, it's nothing like that.
Okay.
But you know, if you need to move when you've got like an IV bag, they give you like that like stand on wheels,
Right.
Which I had one of those, but it was like neon yellow with like rollerblade wheels on it as like the kid friendly version.
Oh. Okay, I thought you were about to say you ripped out the IV and that was gonna. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Nothing like that. No, I'm not a huge fan of needles myself.
Oh,
I would
shit.
not have done that.
Even thinking about it just skews me the fuck out. Can't do it.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, bro.
God, yeah. Childhood injuries are pretty fucking pog. I really just wanted to bring it up again.
Yeah. Oh man. But I mean, with that car accident, I was reasonably close to getting an F in chat.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh, oof.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my story of probably the worst injury I've ever received. I've been relatively injury free otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, that car accident was definitely my worst. Knock on wood, never broken a bone. That's the only time I've ever had stitches. So yeah, no real severe injuries.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for the double-digit episode of Breakroom Nachos.
Double digis.
Thanks for listening so far. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.
Go kill some kids.
Don't actually kill children.
Do it. Do it.